I started flying when I was 18 years of age. I came out of high school and I was in a local flying club, and I learned how to fly out there. Because I was learning how to fly and I had a pilot's license, I was very rapidly recruited by the emerging Malaysia Airlines. But in the early days, that it was in the early 70s, I was posted out to an eastern part of Malaysia. I remember staying at this hotel called the Park Hotel in Miri. I just happened to see this book. I said, what is this book doing up there on the shelf? I knew what the Bible was. I knew it was the book of the Christians. And something attracted me to read it. So I began to read on page 1 in the beginning, the book of Genesis. I read a few pages that evening, and he talked about creation. And this was all kind of new to me. No one ever told me of a personal God that created the heavens and the earth. Our family professed to be Hindus. There's a lot of idol worship in the Hindu religion. There are many ceremonies, there are many superstitions, but not something that I could say touched my heart or touched my soul in any way. So I picked up this Bible and continued the read from where I left. And then weeks passed, months passed, and every place I go to the Bible, I look around and the Bible was there. It was like a voice calling me and speaking to me. And particularly in the book of Isaiah, there was something else that caught my attention when God called the worship of idols an abomination. I said, I've been worshipping idols. That's an abomination. But I had this conflict that was going on in my heart, reading this word, the conviction that the Bible was revealing to me. Then he came to a head on the night of August 17th, 1980. Clearly remember the date. That was the date that my daughter was born, Rachel. Yes, when I was walking up and down this corridor in this hospital, there were these large bay windows that looked out towards the mountains. And it was a very clear night, and I began a conversation with the Spirit. And by now, I know that His name was called the Lord. Lord, here I am in the middle of the night. I've been reading your word. Is this all true? Are you speaking to me? And God began to speak to me. There was no thunderous voice in the heavens. There was no flash of light. But His quiet voice told me that He's my Father. I said yes to the Lord that night. And I received Him in my heart. Next morning at 8 o'clock, Rachel, our baby, was born. And I proclaimed that morning, Lord, as for me and my household, we will serve you. Sometime after that, I was posted back to the main base in Kuala Lumpur, and someone called me and said to me, hey, are you Siva? I said, yeah, I am. I said, have you heard something like you accepted the Lord while you read the Bibles, while they were placed in hotels? I said, yeah, that was several years ago. That was out in East Malaysia. He said, you know what? I'd like you if you could share your testimony at this meeting that is coming up. And I discovered that these people were called the Gedeones. And when I shared the testimony with them of how I read the Bibles in the hotel, how this Bible kept following me and bothering my life for 18 months until I said yes to the Lord. And then they invited me to join them. And I did join them. My wife and I did join the Gedeones. Poignantly, one night I was at a Gedeon's pastor's banquet, and where they asked me to share this testimony, and I did. At the end of this testimony, at the pastor's banquet, I observed a man sitting at the back of the room, and I went back to him and shook his hand, and he was quietly weeping out there. I asked him, what's your name? He said, my name is Eric Tian. He said, I've been a Gedeon for many years. He said. And this evening, before I came out to this meeting, I asked the Lord one question. He said, Lord, I've been placing the Word of God in all these places. He said, tonight I'm ready to meet you, but not before I meet someone who tells me that he received you through the words I have placed. And Eric Tien told me that he was one of the Gedeons that went up to that hotel where I stayed, and he was one of them that placed the Bibles there. Exactly 1 week later, Eric Tien went to be with the Lord. And let this be to the glory of God. And let it be a message to the Gedeons to tell them that the work we do is not in vain. And surely the words of the prophet Isaiah has come to pass. So shall my word go forth and not return to me void, but it shall prosper in the thing whereunto it was sent.